Hi guys, Johan from WI here. I want to just briefly talk to you about the benefits of volunteering. When you volunteer in Africa, the question is often raised, are these projects really offering true value? Are they effective? And do you really benefit from the volunteering that you do? I want to take a step back and say, yes, before we look at the benefits of volunteering, we need to understand that there are different stakeholders when it comes to running and operating a volunteer project in country. And each of these stakeholders have their own expectations. Each of these stakeholders seek different benefits. And if you understand those stakeholders and the benefits that they want to derive from it, it's easy to see whether or not you're signing up for a good quality volunteer project that are actually going to contribute to lasting benefits and results on the ground. So, who are those stakeholders? The first stakeholder, in our case, WI, where we host volunteers in South Africa on wildlife projects in national parks and game reserves. So our first stakeholder is a wildlife reserve or a national park. Now, what are those benefits? What are the benefits of volunteering for that stakeholder? Now, these parks and reserves are often underfunded and have a lack of resources. So that's why they are really keen on hosting volunteers and engaging with WI to run a volunteer project on the ground. We offer a turnkey solution to the reserve. That's what they seek. They want the minimum of intervention. But at the same time, we can assist them to meet their conservation mandate, and we can assist them to perform ecological services that would often not have been the case or would not have been performed purely because they don't have the staffing or the resource to do that. So those are the benefits that our first stakeholder, being the reserve or the park, would seek. Our second stakeholder is then obviously the volunteer, the intern or the student that we host in country. And they have a different set of expectations, and the benefits of volunteering for them are not the same. They would come and they would obviously seek a wildlife experience, something that they would go back home and say they've traveled halfway around the world, they've got lots of stories to tell, and they've had an amazing time doing volunteering and spending time in a foreign country. Now, it's much deeper than just the experience that they seek. Most of the time, there's also a learning outcome that they would want to obtain. Whether it's as an intern or as a student, or just acquiring specific extra skills, whether it's coming out to improve their conservation knowledge or to improve their understanding of the African bush or just the wildlife in general. But there is an element of learning and learning outcomes that they want to benefit from. And then obviously they would want to enhance their CV and their job prospects into the future, or maybe even get formal recognition of learning or formal recognition of work hours that they've spent in the projects with us. So the benefits of volunteering for the volunteer, the intern or the student, is again different to what reserve management or the park may want. Then the third stakeholder is WI. Now that's the host organization like ourselves. We provide a service to these reserves, to these parks. We operate in areas of ecological importance. These reserves or parks may not have the resources or the funding or the manpower to actually provide some of the ecological services or fulfill their complete conservation mandate. So we come and we provide a turnkey solution for them, where we leverage the volunteer model, where we leverage students and interns or volunteers from abroad coming into the country to not only assist with manpower, but to also provide the funding for the reserves or for the parks so that they can meet their conservation mandate. Now, from our perspective, the benefits that we derive from it is we want to publish management reports. We want to do credible research and science on the ground. And from that, we can publish articles and peer review publications and generally contribute to the broader body of knowledge and contribute to conservation in general. And in this way, enable greater areas, tracts of land, areas of ecological importance to be properly managed with a conservation mandate in mind. The last stakeholder, and it depends whether or not there is an international or overseas sales agent involved, but these agents would require to work with a reliable host organization like ourselves, and these organizations would have to provide really high quality standards and assurances to the agents that they can actually execute on the ground that which they promoted, that which was sold to their clients, and that which they promised their clients and their volunteers before coming into the country. We also have to provide pastoral care, so these agents would expect a high level of pastoral care, a high level of supervision, both from field staff and then also at a greater level from academics or overarching supervisors to look after the project and to look after the outputs from these projects. And then obviously health and safety standards. We have to provide really thorough health and safety protocols and ensure that the volunteers operate in a safe environment even though we are in big game areas. And then these agents obviously would seek to get repeat clients, and these are the benefits that they particularly would want to derive from the volunteer project. And I think if you understand the different stakeholders, their different expectations, it's also a lot easier to qualify and to quantify whether or not you're signing up for a good quality volunteer project that's going to make a difference to you and to conservation on the ground. If you enjoyed this video, if you found this informative, feel free to click the link below. If you're intending to travel to Africa or to South Africa in the near future, we've created an amazing free guide for you. It's got some basic animal identifications in there, some basic animal tracks and signs that you need to know, and just really prepare you and get you in the right frame of mind before traveling to Africa. See you soon.